Hey everybody, welcome to DVTV in Space for Friday, September 1st. Start of a new fiscal year for the state. I know everybody's thrilled to know that.
And it's getting to be less and less summer. Although we're still officially in summer. I want to just...
It is. I think Labor Day, doesn't that mark the end? Is that the official end of summer? Like, I heard that somewhere.
Should I ask Siri?
Ask Siri.
Hey Siri, when is the end of summer?
Summer ends September 21st.
Oh, I was way off.
Oh, she has a September 21st.
Yes, I changed it to a male.
Oh.
A British male, too.
A British male.
Candace has hers as
Australian.
a British. It's a British. It's like, oh, that is not okay.
Yeah, see, so we still have another month of summer
Okay.
because you know everyone's back to school and everything. I'm like, no, I still want my summer.
I'm tired of summer. Summer can go away.
It hasn't been as hot though this year, right?
I'm
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
So,
I'm
we're
so
thankful for
grateful.
that.
But I think pumpkin spice lattes comes back. I think
don't want that
September
either.
1st.
I'm gonna skip the end of summer. I want to skip pumpkin spice crap and let's go to peppermint.
Oh, you're
she's
one of
going.
those people that wants to skip Halloween.
No, I like Halloween. I just want to skip pumpkin spice latte and go to peppermint.
Okay. In my head, that meant Christmas because you
Yeah.
think candy cane's peppermint
Yeah,
Christmas.
peppermint.
No.
You know. Oh, okay.
That's what I
Peppermint
was
should be
thinking.
year
She's going
round.
straight for Christmas.
Yes, she is. She doesn't
wants
want to
presents.
Thanksgiving.
No, you gotta have a Thanksgiving, man, because that's the food. I don't like. If I said anything about skipping Halloween, I would be kicked out of my home.
So would Candace. Yeah. She's not allowed to say anything Christmassy before Thanksgiving or Halloween happens.
Well, in our house we have a Halloween tree.
A Halloween tree.
We put up the damn Christmas tree and decorate it in spiders and crap like that.
That is such a great idea. I'm
That's
totally
really
going to
great.
tell Candace.
And then I'm the one who's
Candace,
got to
if you're
get
watching.
all the little plastic spiders out to make it a Christmas tree.
Are they all plastic?
Don't even say that, cause one time, a couple of years ago in the summer, this big old fat spider put a web. When you walked out my front door, and it's kind of the little porch area right at the end. It's this huge web. They didn't tell me, so I'm walking out, and Sandra remembers to tell me as I'm walking out. No, what that? And I'm like, ah! And so, I'm going to go get the raid and the fire thrower
And
and
it was this
all
big
of this
and
stuff.
hairy
It was
and-
big. It was nasty. Big, nasty. I have
I
a
can't
picture of it. I can show you. But she wouldn't let me kill it. She said, no, that eats
I don't
the
kill.
bugs.
Yeah, I'm a no-kill zone. Like you cannot kill animals. Like if there's a bug in my house, I will
A spider
literally
girl
take
is
something.
not an animal.
Or an insect. I literally will pick it up and take it outside.
Aw.
I don't
will
kill
too.
anything.
I will pick it up, take it outside, and stomp it.
Where's that spider at?
I don't know.
Just like that.
I'm arachnophobic, severely arachnophobic. So,
Oh, okay.
but snakes, I don't like snakes when they sneak up on you. Like if you're wandering around outside, you're la la la, and there's a snake.
Where do you live?
Do you go walk in the park sometimes?
Yeah,
Yeah, I do,
take
but
your dog
yeah.
out for a walk or
Copperheads.
anything.
Oh,
Down in River Legacy Park, you just mind us your own business, walking down the path, and bam, there's a copperhead.
oh no, I haven't
See,
seen that.
yeah.
I don't like snakes either.
But I don't mind snakes when I know where they are. Now, like if somebody has like
Dear
a
nature, if you were ever going to show up in Tammy's life, please
not
let her know in
scare me.
advance.
call first. No, I mean, but like you're in the zoo or in science class, and I'm like, oh, look at this giant python, and here, hold it. Okay, I don't mind that. They feel good. They're smooth. They're cool. It's just when you're just
I'm
wandering
thinking
around.
that's every day.
Yeah, I was like,
Python.
I was
It's
like, I
nice and
knew.
smooth.
I was like, Israel.
it.
I was like, Israel is thinking something over here.
You know what that is? Y'all know what that is? That's called wishful thinking. Or a really bad eyesight. Something like that. Anyway, talking about critters. Let's talk about the possibility of critters in the floodwaters. Actually,
yeah.
let's talk about the hurricane and the flood.
Because that's
Yeah.
the cover.
Yeah,
Yes,
that is the
my
cover
cover this week.
of this week's Stella's Voice. And I think this is really cool. On page 10, this is the cover. Oh, you can see it behind us. This is really cool because I know a
I
lot
just
of
did a-
people. See,
I just did
I
it
did that.
behind. Oh,
a lot of people have been asking, how they can help. And I know I was one of them. Like, I really wanted to volunteer when I found out that they were opening up the Kay Bailey Hutchinson Center for evacuees. And I really wanted to help. And I didn't know, I didn't know where to go. And so if you look at page 10 through 11 and this week's Dallas Voice, there's a whole list of things that you can do to help. And so, Tammy, did you put, David Taffet put
David
this
and I actually put it together. He talked to some folks. I talked to some folks.
Yeah, and I think that's really cool what also is going on. So in addition to like all the places that you can donate or help or assist, the Rose Room is also going to do a benefit show.
Exactly.
So a lot of the performers there are going to donate their time. It's a $5, I think, suggested donation at the door. And so if you are part of the community and you're looking for something to do, a way to help, that's go see a Badass Drag show. Support, your fellow Houstonites and Rockport and Corpus Christians and everybody. So.
And
At the Rose Room on the 10th.
On the 10th.
Doors at 6, show at 7. There's another one as well.
when I saw the ad for the drag show benefiting, that inspired me to create my own. Yesterday, I started the Facebook page. Excuse me. I'm having a screening of a film called Are You Here? It's a Japanese horror film, and I had been hired by a studio in LA to do the English language version.
I thought that was like last night. It wasn't? When is it?
No, I put that on. I was
It's
like, that's me.
and unless I put the date
No,
wrong.
you didn't.
Oh,
Tammy
okay.
read it wrong.
I didn't see a date.
Yeah.
That was my thing.
Oh, okay. Oh, is there not a date?
No,
on
there's
it?
a date. It says September 7th.
I
on
don't
the side.
read well.
Yes, it's next this coming Thursday, and so we're going to screen it. The voice actors are going to be there as well, so they're going to be seeing their voice on other
that's
people's
cool.
faces, and it's a really great movie. It's a Ouija board movie, and it's going to be you can give a $10 donation or give and all the 100% of it is going toward the disaster relief fund, and or just bring a bag of stuffed things, and we give. Like some samples of, like non-perishable items and a lot of baby stuff I heard too.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of people, made it out without their diapers and did baby food. And
Right.
find one of the lists that, like the shelters, American Red Cross, they'll have lists. They tell you what they really need, so they'll, check there and bring those kinds of things. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
tomorrow night, there's another concert. Tomorrow night, lesbian singer-songwriter Sonia is among the artists who appear at Hurricane Relief Benefit noon to midnight. Wow. At Poor David's Pub tomorrow. That's Poor David's Pub at 1313 South Lamar.
I think it's really awesome how, everybody in our community, our community and outside have come together to find some way to do something. And so it's really cool to see that even though we're miles apart, we're still connected, we're still connected in that
Yeah.
way.
I have a question for you, Tammy. Being the news media person, is on my show we were talking about how since there's so much media coverage on the hurricane and the survivors and what's happening with them, I was curious to know, where would one go to find out about our community in Houston and Corpus Christi? Because there's no news coverage, or if there are, we don't know if it's a part of the gay community or not.
There is some of that's here in this story. There's on the jump page, on page 14, that talks a little bit. This is damage is done. Montrose Center, which is like the counseling center, community center down there. Legacy Community Health, they seem to be okay, but the Legacy Santa Clara office on the east side was damaged. Resurrection MCC down there was damaged in the flood. And, there's a lot of bars and things down there, and I guess you just have to check with them. But Montrose Center, one of the things, if you want to donate and know that your money is going to LGBT people and organizations there, you can go to the Montrose Center. We talk about it in the story. It's one of the first things that they were one of the first ones to start a relief fund that's targeting our community, and there's
That's awesome.
information in the story there.
Well, I know there have been backlash from people donating.
Yeah,
right,
that's
that
what
you
I
were
was going to
talking
ask.
about.
Was that you heard about the Ruby Rose, I believe it was, that donated 10,000 and she got backlash from it because it went to an LGBT center versus going
Why would it? I mean, you have somebody in that community who wants, in our rainbow community, who wants to donate to the rainbow community and know that they're helping their own personal community. I don't think.
And I think
I'm
that
not
was a
surprised
part
that
of
there's.
it.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that there's backlash because there are a bunch of idiots in the world. But at the same time,
Couldn't have
I
said it
don't.
better
I
myself.
couldn't,
I
yeah.
want to make sure that's her name now. I'm saying that. Ruby
It
Rose.
is. I think it's
That's
Ruby
her name?
Rose.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it's Ruby.
Cast of-
Yeah.
Orange is the New
She has
Black.
colored
Yeah.
tattoos.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I mean, I'm not surprised that there's backlash.
Yeah.
I haven't actually heard about that. I'm going to be honest. This has been a really tough week. My family's all down there.
Yeah.
Your family was
My
in
family,
Corpus.
Corpus and Houston.
You have people in Houston too, and I
Uh-huh.
have family in Houston. But my I grew up in Jasper. My parents and a large number of my family are still there. Beaumont and Port Arthur, where it's still,
Yeah.
waters were still rising. And
Yeah.
I've just, Wednesday was a bad day in Jasper. That's when everything was going there. And, these poor people, Jasper and Newton counties are down there on the Louisiana border,
So they're a little bit.
Yeah, they're long, narrow, right there against the border, and they're just north of Beaumont, which, in Orange and where it got bad. And, my folks, they made it through. They, nobody in my family got water in their home. It ended on Wednesday night. They started moving out, and it was getting better. And last night at about 8:45, one of the main transmission lines, they get electric power from Shreveport. The main lines are coming out of Shreveport to Jasper and Newton counties, and I think beyond that as well, went down. And they are still, most of them are still without power.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know,
It's
like
been
in
a hard week.
in Corpus Christi, I'm from Corpus Christi originally, and so my grandmother's in Corpus Christi as well, and she just got power, I think Thursday, so there's still like over 2,000 people or so that don't have power in Corpus, which was the least affected,
Exactly,
it wasn't as affected as all these other communities. So I can't even imagine what life is for those that were really like Port Aransas and Rockport and Victoria and all those places. And now
Just before we came on, I was reading on Facebook. One of my cousins posted, "Anybody got anything to eat? I got some raviolis, but I can't cook them."
yeah.
So, and they can't, and they're having gas shortages too, so they can't, get out and go find food.
And
so.
speaking of gas shortages, do we actually have one here, or have we created it on our own?
Well, we got 8 seconds left. We're going to go to a break.
she cut me
It's all the media's fault.
just getting emotional.
But we're gonna go to a break. I want you guys to watch the Pet of the Month
Animals.
video that's going to be in the break when we come back from the break. And Shannon's going to give me fair warning. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about, animals.
Animals and the gas.
Animal rescue, and then we'll talk about the gas stuff too. Okay? And then we're going to talk, at some point, we're going to talk about this fantastic movie premiere that I went to this week, and about that shirt that he's got on. And you know what? We didn't even introduce ourselves.
No, we didn't. We just started talking
We'll
about
do that
critters.
when we come back,
There you
okay?
go.
We'll do that when we come back.
Yeah, it's just like complete.
Hi, I'm Maddie with the SPCF Texas, and I am here with Ember. She is a 3-year-old pit bull mix, and she came to us just last week. She was surrendered because her owner had some landlord issues, so they could no longer keep her. She's super sweet, just wants to be loved, petted. She walks well on her leash. She seems to be house trained, okay with other dogs. So if you'd like to meet her, you can come to our Jan Reese Jones Animal Care Center in West Dallas at 2400 Lone Star Drive. We're open from noon to 6, and she can, until September 3rd, you can adopt her for only $25.
We're back. And we realized that we hadn't even introduced ourselves. We're going to do that. We have a special guest on here, and y'all don't even know who he is. So we're going to start on that
Mysterious
end.
man.
Start on that end with Israel.
I'm Israel Luna. How are you?
I'm Brandy Mars Sky. Howdy.
I'm Brian Avenchan. Hello.
And I'm Tammy Nash with Dallas Voice. So that's who we all are. Now then, we want to talk. We talked about the pet. You saw the pet of the month. I was talking there with Maddie this morning in the SPCA. You know, a lot of people left their pets behind either because they were forced to or something. Or, you know, and then you have animals that were strays. And,
Yeah.
You know, and then people that evacuated and took their pets but had to sit outside, couldn't stay in the hotels. Mm-hmm. Things like that happen. But I was asking Maddie when I went by to film the pet video this morning, you know, what do people, she goes, we're full on volunteers, we're full on foster parents, we're full on donations in kind. You know, don't show up at the SPCA with some cat litter. They got a lot of it. They don't need any more.
That's good to know.
But you can donate money. They need money, and they use that money. And these supplies, too, to not only send to the shelters that are still down there and give to the people that have evacuated here with their pets. Mm-hmm. And, you know, so, you know, if you donate money, you're helping their relief efforts, but you're also helping their everyday efforts as well. So
yeah, and I know I saw on Instagram, you know, a picture of all the stuff that the community has donated, and they do have a lot of stuff, and they also have an Amazon wish list as well. Mm-hmm. So that way, if you do want to donate, you know, in addition to money, something else, go to their Amazon wish list. I think it's on their Instagram page.
Yeah.
So
I follow this really amazing girl on Facebook. Her name escapes me right now, but she is always out there on the front lines, like helping animals, and her posts and her stories are amazing. And she raises money for the Dallas shelter, and she goes out there for that part-time.
So,
and I've loved seeing, like, you know, some of, you know, the pictures of, you know, humans helping animals, like grabbing, you know, any stray dogs. Like I saw something earlier this morning that there was a group of people that were rescuing bats under the cave, you know, with the flood. Like they were literally, they had fishing nets and they were getting out, you know, these bats. And then people were, you know, rescuing squirrels, because it's not just the humans that are affected, it's the wildlife as well. And so it's really, I really love seeing that in this time, that kind of compassion is extended to animals as well, because they really can't fend for themselves. Yeah. You know?
I'm gonna toot the horn here for somebody from our community who's helping out that way. Nani Ouch, a lesbian from Arlington. She's raising money to help animals who are displaced by the hurricane. Friends for Life Animal Rescue and Adoption Organization.
That's awesome.
Out of Houston. So, you know, you can find that information also online and in the newspaper.
I love that. Kudos to everybody that's doing something
Yeah.
and not just standing there talking about how huge the audience is.
Yes, great audience. So you were asking about the gas shortage.
Yes.
Okay, well,
Is it real? Is the biggest question.
No, the media just manufactured. I actually am responsible for Hurricane Harvey. You know, because the media did it all.
Yes.
So
So are you tired of, like, the, you know, the media getting blamed for
Yes.
everything?
kiss my ass. Yes. I am. Next time we won't tell y'all shit.
Do the disclaimer. The
The opinions of Tammy Nash and the Dallas Voice do not necessarily reflect Israel Luna and mine.
Nor do
Or mine.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
Don't put mine in it.
Yeah.
The Dallas Voice is probably like, yeah, that ain't our opinion either. But
Even though it was, I mean, a bit of the media or the hysteria or just people, there was no gas. I mean, literally.
How did it start? Do we know?
this is. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
This is the way I understand it. Okay, because I was reading about this earlier in the week. The refineries are in the Houston, Port
In
Arthur,
Corpus.
Beaumont, Corpus area. Okay, in case y'all didn't notice, there was a big storm down there.
Was there?
And a lot of some of these refineries have had to shut down, you know, and you have that chemical plant, you know, that's an example of a plant that had to shut down, and of course that made it blow up because they couldn't keep it cool. Nonetheless, they had to shut down. So that is a stop in the flow of production. Okay, it's not like there's nothing to produce. It's not like there's not gas to be made or to be found. But it's down
Although there
here.
will be at some point, because, you know, it's a non-renewable resource. But go ahead.
That's true.
Continue.
But it's down there, It's just a matter of getting the trucks into the area where they need to get to and getting them back. It's the process has slowed down. So yeah, there was a limited amount of gas here, and that limited amount of gas was going to run out. But the horrifying, scaremongering media said, "Hey, y'all, pay attention, because this has happened. It's slowed down, and some people might be running out of gas."
Yeah, but I think the responsibility is for the media to tell people these things, but then it's up to us to not go completely spastic and change that news.
Shit.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Well, Brandy, I have to tell you, from running this studio, there's like about 100 people in here with our 50 offices and about an average of 2 people per office. You can do and be as clear as possible about what's going to happen, and they are going to go crazy in front of you, and you're going to say, "I just told you 3 seconds ago that this is what's happening." Right. "Oh my God, this is happening!" And you're just
It's
people are
human
crazy.
nature, I guess. Some people's human nature to blow things out of proportion, and I think
we would probably handle it in a more sane way and listen to you, but
I probably wouldn't.
Timmy would be like, "It's coming out of Brandy's mouth,"
and it's frustrating.
Yeah.
It can be very frustrating.
It wasn't all the media fault either. I mean, there was a lot of posts on Facebook. I even had friends that were freaking out about the gas that night, and it's like, oh, really? I mean, didn't even hear it on the media yet.
I went home Wednesday. On my way home from Wednesday, I stopped and filled up the tank, but that's because I was out of gas.
Yeah, and that's
right.
Candace and I were doing the same thing. She's going to school in Denton, and we were driving back, and she had like this much, the little click, the little bar. She had this much there, and she's like, "Okay, let's stop for gas." So we stopped, between Denton and Dallas, and we stopped at QT, and there was we're like, "Why is nobody over here? But what's going on at Circle K?" I was like, "Are they giving away free gas?" Because I hadn't heard anything.
There's a big line.
But, yeah, and there was a huge line. I'm like, because sometimes radio stations give away free gas, or like this location free gas. I was like, "Oh, they're probably giving away free gas." So then we turn around and we go in, and it's just this madhouse. And I'm like, what is going on? And this lady, across it didn't take us that long, because I guess it was just when all this hype was starting. But the lady across from us had waited, she went to 4 gas stations, waited 45 minutes, and she was pissed off because somebody else had 5. They were filling up 5 gas tanks.
And that's
Hoarding it.
That's going.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
But that also goes back to what we were talking about earlier. How I wouldn't do that. That there comes this time where you see people for who they are. It's all about me, me, me. I need to take care of myself. Here, I need to get all these.
We weren't talking about Joel Osteen yet.
or Donald Trump.
But, when people have all those gas tanks, they can. I mean, they're in line. They've waited. They can do that
know,
now.
No,
is it the right thing to do?
Capitalism, right?
But these people are. Here's the problem with that. You got your Home Depot bucket that you've taken. You can't take that down there and fill that up with gas. That's not an appropriate container. And people were doing that shit.
Yeah,
I'm serious. I saw somebody with a water fountain bottle thing.
Yeah, people were doing these drastic things, and they were at Home Depot. They were like, "We run out of buckets and plywood and gas cans." I'm like, "What are they using the plywood for?"
Zombies are coming too.
I know. They're like, "We're ready for the zombie
You
apocalypse."
got to put a lid on those buckets.
Get a match and throw it in there.
It's just, yeah.
Stand there. I can see methamphetamine sitting over there smoking a cigarette.
Exactly.
Just out of meanness.
Yeah.
But then I also think, what also really pisses me off is the price gouging that's going on with the gas station.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And Valero on Cedar Springs, I mean, we've literally seen it go up from Wednesday night when it was, gas prices there are always really expensive, but it was $2.40. And then by the next day, by yesterday, it was almost $4. And that's wrong.
That's called price gouging, and it's illegal.
That's illegal. So, I mean, I'm not supporting that Valero anymore. I don't think you should either. But I know that people were sharing, if you do feel like they are price gouging, you can take a picture of receipt, and then call.
I think they said anything over $4 a gallon is what it was.
Was it $4? Okay.
I think it was $4.
Office of the Attorney General.
That's okay.
Online.
$4 a gallon.
Yeah. I just disconnected my damn cell. There we go. Now I can hear me.
She is having
This
Having
is
a day
every-
with.
Oh,
Oh, this is every week.
every
Oh,
Saturday.
okay.
You know, and
Yeah.
it
Every
reminds
Friday.
me when you were talking about the people that were filling up a lot more than their tank and they had these other containers. It's just like the 4-way stops. You know what you're supposed to do, but then you have that one
person who just goes
One
straight
asshole.
through.
and it's I don't know what it is about human nature that one
I
person
don't
and they're proud of
know.
it. They're like, oh, I'm not gonna wait. You know,
It's a sense of entitlement that I
Sometimes it makes you wish that you were just in a really big old piece of shit truck. So when they pull that, you could just say blam.
that's what oops, sorry.
Sorry, I thought it was my
Tammy,
turn.
do you know how much fun I have in my van when someone is trying not to let me
Yeah.
cut in? I'm like, bitch, I'm gonna cut in anyway. Do you think I mind a scratch on my van? And then they're honking at me, and I just do this. I wave at them from.
I'm probably one
And
of
they
those
can't
people
even
doing
see
this at you. How dare you?
I know, that's probably
you knew
me
this
back
lane
there.
was going to end.
It's like, bitch, I got an '87 van made out of metal.
That's true. It's made out of metal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's,
Is that a speed
watching
bump?
the movie, Sandra's like,
Oh,
oh,
that was
that's
a Honda."
Israel's van. That's Israel's van.
I was too. I was like, hey, here's the van.
The
She goes,
shaggin' wagon.
that's what she said. It's the shaggin' wagon.
Shaggin' wagon.
It is. That's the name.
Okay, we're getting down. Gosh, time flies. We're getting down to the end of our second segment. I don't know what we're going to talk about when we come back. But
Well,
we're
speaking
gonna,
of my
we're gonna,
van,
Yeah, let's talk
we're
about
going
this
to
and
talk
then we'll
about
talk
Brian and his
about your
t-shirts
van
and the
and my
van
movie.
and the movies
We got
and
so
the
much.
shirts. We got a lot.
we got a
We
lot.
We
Y'all
got a
come
lot.
back now.
So we'll be back. You hear?
You hear?
Your hair.
We'll be back. And we're back. We're going to talk about, we've got a lot to talk about. We got 12 minutes to talk in this segment. Got a lot to talk about. Let's start out with Brian, because Brian is new. You're our special guest. Tell us about you and your t-shirts, and he can model for us.
And how you found out. Like,
Yeah.
you were
Okay.
watching, tell us the whole gig.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I have a t-shirt company, and
It's called,
Pride Basics.
okay.
So we do amazing t-shirts for our community. They're really nice.
There you go.
There you go. This is one of the recent ones he just
Yes,
did for
so
Israel.
this is out of Israel's mind. I
Scary.
worked on this actually all morning today getting it done. So I print t-shirts for our LGBT community. I'm at Pride's. I have a retail collection. Then if you have ideas, I put them together like this. Israel, I saw him on this show a couple weeks ago, and I said, I got to connect with him. So I sent him an email right away and said, hey, I saw your idea. I want to help you. And then the next day,
So thank you to DVTV and Space.
Yes, thank you.
for starting this movement, because it's going to be a movement.
Excellent.
You said you've already had people like commenting on it.
Yeah,
Right?
so I've sent it out to a few people, a few of my contacts, and they really like the shirt. They like the idea of rainbow community, and they actually want one already. So
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
excellent.
Go home and make some more.
You said we were going to give one away, right?
Yes.
How are we going to do it?
How are we
That's
gonna
your
do it?
idea. What are we going to do?
Brandy,
What?
think about it, because
okay.
we still have another break to do. So
Okay, we'll think about it.
yeah, we'll think about it, and we're going to give away this shirt right
We
here.
might
you
not
wanna-
give it away today. We might put it out there, and you have to come up with something. And next week we'll announce a winner. How's that?
Ooh.
Whatever you like, it
I
is
like
your
that
show.
idea.
Oh, I like that. I like
that
being the
idea
boss.
too.
Israel, do you want to tell them about the rainbow community really quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. So hold it up, and I can. Okay, so guys, it started off as, if you remember, GLBT, and then at first it was just gay and lesbian.
Yeah, gay and lesbian, or different gay, then gay and lesbian.
Yeah, and then GLBT, and then we thought, I think it was a ladies first kind of thing. No, it should be the lesbians first. So then it changed to LGBT, then LGBTQ, then LGBTQI, LGBTQIA, and now they're adding more letters. And I thought, we're kind of digging ourselves in a hole here, because it's just going to get longer and longer, more complicated. And if it's hard for us to keep up, how do you think that everyone else feels, like the mainstream America? And so I thought, let's just call ourselves the rainbow community. Mm-hmm. And anytime I hear LGBT on TV, on the news, on the radio, anywhere in a newspaper article, I just replace LGBT with rainbow, and it seems to work. So my campaign is to just start calling our community the rainbow community.
And now Brian is bought
And
in,
you're
come
helping.
aboard, and,
Yep.
and we're gonna
And
see
you
if we
can
can make that happen.
Get them, helps from the word, pridebasics.com. I'll post a link in the comments like before. You can go on there, check it out, get one.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
there's
That's
even
excellent.
there's a secret shirt online too.
A secret
It's
shirt.
secret shirt. So it's same model, same theme, but if you follow the link, it'll be in the same
Secret
place.
design.
Secret
I like
design.
that. I like secret.
Okay.
And everyone can order one, so you can have it in time for the
For
parade,
Pride.
for Pride Parade.
Excellent.
For
And
Pride
I think
weekend.
that's really, really cool. I mean, this dovetails really great into the Pride issue and what the theme is, which is speak up and speak out. And Israel's doing that, by trying to make rainbow community happen. And so I think
He's not
this is
trying,
really
he is.
Oh,
He's doing
yeah,
it.
okay.
He's doing it.
He is. He's doing it. But I picked up the Dallas Voice this week, and this always makes me super excited, because this means that Pride is around the corner, and that means that we're going to get to celebrate our rainbow community and be with our families. So this is fun, and I think this is the perfect tie-in to what the theme is for this
And
year's
so what is
Pride.
this? What all
This
is
Yeah,
in
Tammy,
here?
what is this?
This is called the Pride Guide, and we put this out in
Pride
conjunction with the
Guide.
Tavern Guild. The Tavern Guild sponsors, puts on the parade each week. And you can find all the information about the Pride. You can find out the president's letters from the mayor, the city council. There's a calendar of events all around,
All the things that
leading
are
up to stories on the Grand Marshals, the Voice of Pride winner, the beneficiaries, Family Pride Zone, all of the things that are going on that weekend. You're going to find the information here. There's on page 38. There's the theme story. I wrote that
Yeah,
to
this
talk
is
about
the theme story that's
what
going
the
on.
theme of the parade this year and the Pride Festival
Oh.
is stand up, speak out. And
And I also think that this is extremely important. On page 50 and 51, this is like the Dallas Pride milestone. So this is really like a piece of history. So if you're going out and if you're going to be cheering on all the floats and all our, rainbow family, you really should know the history. And so this is a really cool piece that kind of gives you bits and pieces of what's going on. And I think knowing our history is extremely important. And I'm going to be having a really cool article coming out about a little bit of history on
That's true.
on our strip in the Pride issue as well. So pick this up. This is a really cool little guide here.
so on Friday, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, this is really interesting about this stand up, speak out. telling the story of how they came up with their theme. I work with a lot of prides, and sometimes they come up with themes, and I think about, well, what is your thinking behind that? So I'm looking forward to reading this now.
Well, this is just this is my story, and it's not how they came up with the theme. It's more about what the theme means.
I see Harvey Milk already, so I know
Yeah.
there's some good reading
it's
here.
talking about kind of the history of our community and those points in time when we were forced to either put up or shut up, you know,
Right.
stand up and speak out. This is how we make progress, and that's what this is about. I know in speaking with some of the Tavern Guild officials, Michael Doman, who is an executive director, and talking about you know, a lot of times our pride themes are kind of fluffy and united in pride and everybody's lovely and we're going to have fun. Those kind of pride themes. But this is a very political, I guess. Stand up and speak out, make yourself heard. And I think people, since last November, our people in our community, or most people in our community, have really started to feel the heat a little bit. We thought we were sitting pretty and found out that maybe, you know, we're still in danger. And
Yeah, and I talk
You
about
in danger,
that.
girl.
You in danger, girl. I actually talk about this in my online weekly column called The Trending Tea that you can find on the Dallas Voice.
Finally.
Finally, the Dallas Voice because let
Missed
me tell
deadline?
you why. Because the Dallas Voice got a brand new spanking website. It is a snazzy fancy. It's awesome. It's beautiful. And so it took a moment for the Trending Tea for Tammy to upload
we had to get
it.
we were in the switchover process, and it's still, we haven't had our real grand opening yet. It's
Sorry.
we've got it. It's there.
Don't go there yet.
Do go there.
Yeah,
go there anyway.
Yeah, that's a nice
Read her
site.
column.
Go there to read my column because I talk about how I feel like I feel like we've gotten complacent. Like I feel like we have lost the radicalness and loudness and the speaking up of our voice. And I think that's really apparent. And I think it was really, there was a video that was going around with the trans activists that got into
Caitlin, yeah.
in Caitlin's face. And some of the community were like, well, she shouldn't have done that. And I'm like, this is how we got our rights to begin with, by getting in people's faces, by being
Calling out
loud
the bullshit.
and calling out the bullshit instead of partying alongside these people and taking selfies and just being, you know, in the overall glam of it all. And so that's what that article is about. And I think, I feel like we are all connected in that way. Like we're all feeling that in some way. Like I feel like this is stand up, speak out. You're doing this. Like we're all feeling it and we're kind of doing it in our own way. But
and in expression, like with my movie. And
exactly.
Stuff like
I
that as
feel
well.
like we are all moving towards that less complacent speaking out. And so this is perfect timing for everything.
I think
feel.
so. I think so.
That's one of the reasons I started Pride Basics, because I saw the whole campaign election season that happened last year, and it's how do I make a difference? How do I change anything with
Exactly.
all of this going on? Well, damn it, I'm going to make T-shirts and
love
I'm going to
it.
sell them everywhere. And
There
I
you
mean,
go.
look at the goosebumps.
Yeah.
You know, that's what
but
happens.
that's what you need to
you know?
do. And that's what I feel like now we're doing as a community that we weren't doing, you know, or, you know, we didn't really have to do under Obama. I mean, you know, things and
Right.
inequalities were there, but now it's just that much more apparent.
We
And
had support.
we had support
now.
as opposed
Now
to
we have
what-
to support ourselves.
Yep.
Good. Yeah. So.
Yeah, this is, you know, anytime you make great strides forward, there's going to be resistance, there's going to be a backlash, and I feel like we're in the backlash, and we can make it just a temporary thing, but not if we don't do something about it. If we don't stand up and say, hell
agree.
no, we're not going back.
I agree.
We're not going back. So, and that's one of the things, Israel, when we were talking about TikTok, no, wrong one, kicking zombie ass for Jesus.
Yes.
And I, you know, it was such a fun movie. We went the premiere of Israel's movie, Kicking Zombie Ass for Jesus, was last Monday night at the
This is
Texas
Monday.
Theater,
Yeah.
and it was so much fun. And Shannon, our Rufus over there, he had a short film that also screened, and that was great.
The Devil's Chain.
The Devil's
The
Chain.
Devil's
It was
Chain.
great. There was another movie called Lesbian Strippers from Hell. And
your favorite one.
and I'm sorry, I don't remember the lady's name. I don't remember that lady's name, but
Oh, Angel
Angel Mar-
Rose.
Angel Rose. Okay.
Marquez.
Marquez. Yeah.
And you know, they were there, but Israel's film was the main feature in the full-length feature film. And besides the fact that it was a campy throwback 70s grindhouse, gory fun, sometimes almost slapstick fun in some of it, you know. But there was there were those moments that, some of the moments I'm like, whoa, yeah, it really got to you because it made you think, yeah, there are people like this out there.
Mm-hmm.
And in amidst all of the gory, funny stuff, there was a real good message. And so when we come back, we've got a little bit of time, but I don't want to get started and not being able to finish. Yeah, because, the clock Nazi over there. End of the time. But when we come back, we'll have our 8-minute segment. We're going to talk more about the movie and about the message of the movie and maybe where we might be able to see it again when it's going to be coming out. And, can I get it on DVD?
I tried.
Not yet.
Not yet, I don't think.
Sit there with your camera
Amazon
phone during the movie.
Right.
I'd go bootleg copy.
So we're going to talk about that when we come back, and anything else that comes into our heads.
Oh, I'm sure we'll have something to talk about.
Sure.
I have to admit, Chad Mantooth, advertising director for Dallas Voice, did not give me a secret word of the day today. I'm so disappointed.
I'm Chad.
But
you are slacking on your job. That's all.
We're gonna cut him a little bit of slack. He's been out 2 weeks with pneumonia.
Oh,
and
all right.
Is
I feel
fighting
bad.
back,
Sorry.
but he's back. But
I worked at a newspaper for 3 years.
Yeah?
In advertising.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'll give
Oh.
you my card.
Oh.
See what happens
You didn't
when
hear
you
that,
slack on
Chad.
the secret word, Chad.
Okay, well, we're gonna take a break. We'll be back in a minute.
See what happens when you're gone.
Scene from Kicking Zombie Ass.
I know what happens.
So we were thinking before we start talking about the movie, we talking about the T-shirts here, the Rainbow Community T-shirts. There you go, Vanna. Show us.
Vanna Brown.
Vanna Brown.
Vanna Brown.
Miss Brown, if you're nasty.
So that we're going to give you a chance to win one of these shirts. And Israel's going to tell us some of the names of some of the characters in Kicking Zombie Ass. And in that vein, we want you to Facebook us on the Dallas Voice website and put
in the comment
T-shirt.
section.
Yeah, in the comments on this video, and give us the name of a good name for the main character in
the third one.
The third one. That's right. The third
because
one. So.
We have a trilogy. It's Ticked Off Chinese with Knives, Kicking Zombie Ass for Jesus, and then we're going to do a third one. We have fun names in the film, like Beth Ann Fetterman. We have Nurse Connie Lingus. We have Tipper some more. And so on the comments section, go ahead and give us your great play on words name for Willem to play in the third film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then we'll pick our favorite one, and then they get a...
Mm-hmm. Israel and I will pick the best one, and we will award the T-shirt next week on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Or we'll tell you who wins, and then you got to figure out how to get it.
Or you can just come see our show live. That's going to be happening at JR's Pride Weekend, September 15th, and you can pick up your shirt then.
That's right. I meant to say that a while ago. We were talking about Pride Weekend.
Yes.
Friday, we're going to have...
Put your phones away, stop getting on Grindr and on Tinder, and come over here and get on the show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No telling who you might meet.
Yeah.
M-E-A-T or M-E-A-T?
However you want to think about it, girl.
Right.
Whatever your flavor.
Yeah. So let's talk about the movie and tell us. We've talked about it a lot over the. I'm sorry, I'm eating candy.
It smells good.
It's a mint toast.
It's a mint.
No,
Yeah.
I ate every bit of them too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. I'm just like eating it like candy. But we've talked a lot about it over the past few weeks. But let's talk a little bit more about the message and what why you had that message.
Yeah, well, after I did Ticked Off Trannies with Knives, I got the idea because it was against trans violence. Yes.
Tell people who might not know what the plot of that first film is.
The first film is about a group of transgender women who are just, living the life. They're showgirls, and they're out having drinks, and they get bashed and left for dead by a group of these straight guys. And so the women develop a plot to trap the guys and torture them and slaughter them and kill them, and then the movie's over and everybody's happy.
Yeah, and that was the first in the Grindhouse trilogy.
Yes,
so.
and because it became my biggest hit to date, I thought, you know what, I really like this message kind of thing, because I never thought I would be a message movie kind of guy. And so I thought, well, what else are we fighting about or fighting for? And fighting with. And I thought, well, religion, because we're the first ones to question religion, because just by us being born, we're already hated and we're going to hell. So I thought, well, what would happen if we are forced to deal with each other? And I thought, well, I can disguise that message in a crazy, campy, gory zombie film.
And that's
where
exactly
it
what
came
you
up.
did. Yeah.
And both of the movies are about, in their own bloody and twisted way, they're about empowerment, and they're about taking back your own power. And that seems a bit far-fetched for, Grindhouse type films, but it's really true. There is a message. In the first movie, these women take back the power from the men who hurt them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we were doing that festival run, because it was amazing, we went to Tribeca and had 4 sold-out screenings and everything. During the Q&A afterwards, we got the most amazing comments of, there was this one trans woman who stood up and she said, at the very end, the guy does not just get slaughtered. One by one, they throw knives at him. So one of them shoots him, another one throws a knife here, another one throws a knife here, and then a machete to the head, all together, and then he slowly bleeds and falls down. And she said that was so satisfying because she had never seen a trans character kill the person that tortured her for an hour and a half. And I was like, that makes me feel really good, because it was like a satisfying moment through a film that made her feel better.
And the whole idea behind it was there, and there still is just this wave after wave of violence against our trans people, our transgender brothers and sisters out there. And I remember talking to Israel when he was making the film and writing the film, and he was so angry at seeing these people, and it's usually trans women of color being victimized. It made him so angry, And then there were so many people who got mad at him because of the use of the word trannies, and I think it kind of hurt your feelings.
Well,
but
I was so angry that the response from the community was, let's fight hate with love. And I was like, no, I'm damn mad. I am pissed off, and I want to be pissed off at them, and it's okay to say that.
Yes.
That's what I was angry about too.
And he was not necessarily advocating for people to go out and kill people,
Not at all. Wink,
You were gonna
wink.
pay legal fees.
But
or
it was
anything like that?
it's a catharsis. It's that's
Absolutely.
what we use movies for, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
For
It's
that-
an
for that
escape in the
release.
fantasy and being able to see something that to see the flip side, like you said, they talked about not ever seeing or being able to do that in real life, and it's a way to kind of feel and reclaim your own power and say, you know what, I don't have to take this shit. Like I don't have to take, this, and there's a way to fight back. And even if, it's not killing and, there's a way to fight back without bringing in violence. And I think, movies like that, they help people think of different ways.
Vent.
Yeah.
You get to vent.
You get to vent
through
and you
those
get to
movies, and
think
it's
in
good.
different ways that, what can I do? Like,
And
I
it's
can't do this.
therapeutic too to
It's very
see
therapeutic.
it.
That's the
It's
word
just
I
like
was
playing
looking for.
violent video
Yeah,
games. You
it's
feel better after
therapeutic.
you kill all these
Yes.
aliens.
Yeah. It's a
Yes,
movie.
and I have to admit that I cheered quite loudly when I saw that crossover moment
Yeah.
there during the boxing match, or at the end of the
Oh,
boxing
yeah,
match
yeah.
when he leans over and you see that face, and I'm like, yeah, I know who that is. It was great.
Thank you.
But it was a lot of fun. And Tell Us Israel, that was the premiere night, but it's not like an ongoing run. When can people see it again or see it for the first time?
Right. Well, we don't have a release date. That was like a one-time exclusive premiere event. But I have already been approached by a professor at SMU to potentially show that at Southern Methodist University. And I said, are you sure? We're talking about the same film. He said, yes, they need to see this because we want to have these, semi-sheltered kids exposed to this, this other culture. And he says this would be the perfect film. So I'll keep you updated because you didn't
Definitely.
get to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things, there is a very intense confrontation between Bethan Fetterman and the Reverend Jeffress in the movie. And I'm watching that, and I thought, some people are going to think this is just over the top and this is unreal. And I'm like,
It's not.
It's not.
reality. Yeah. It's
if you've never stood there and had somebody like that in your face telling you, and I know I have.
I have. I sure
You know,
have.
so and yeah, there's, to see the movie and to see how it plays out, you do get that. It's very much a venting moment. It's like it's like when you get so mad and you just have to walk in your house and slam the door and scream at the top of your lungs. It was that kind of scream at the top of your lungs kind of release. I thought it was excellent. I'm thrilled with it.
Good.
We got to take another break. We'll be back just for a couple of minutes to wrap up and let everybody have a final say for the day. So y'all come back and say goodbye.
Nice.
We're here. Okay, he didn't point his finger at me. I wasn't sure. It's kind of just a lazy wave. I want to say this: Spayse Studios. What is it? Where creativity begins, or what?
The beginning of creation.
The beginning of creation. I just noticed that. I love that. That's really cool. We got 2 minutes. We're gonna wrap it up. So Israel.
Yeah, here at Spayse Studios, we are having a fundraiser to benefit the Hurricane Disaster Relief Fund. We are having a screening. There's a $10 donation, or just bring a bag of stuff that they can use, and then we're going to have it all shipped over there. That is this coming Thursday, the 7th at 7:30. We are screening a movie called Are You Here? And we're going to have the voiceover actors that did the English version of the Japanese horror film, and it's really fun. Come and watch a really fun, scary horror movie and give to a great cause.
Brandy Mara Sky, you can find my online column at thedallasvoice.com, Trending Tea, and I'm also going to be coming out of my writing rabbit hole, and I'm going to be back on stage Pride Weekend, Friday night at Sue Ellen's with Mustache Envy, and I'm going to be performing again. It's been a moment, so I'm excited.
It's been a minute, yeah.
Brian with Pride Basics, and I'm the one who did the amazing t-shirts. So if you want yours, go on to pridebasics.com and get one. There's also a secret shirt. And if you are going to Pride this September 16th, you can go, while you're on Pride Basics, get the official t-shirts for Pride. They're really cool designs. Everybody seems to like them.
That's cool. It's great to meet you today. I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad you were
Yeah,
here.
yeah, thank you for coming and joining us.
And yeah, it's taking your time to help us out. I'm Tammy Nash. I'm the managing editor for Dallas Voice. We do have a new website. It's not complete yet. I mean, it's a work in progress, but it's going to be really cool. We're very proud of it. Pick up this week's paper. Find how you can help with disaster relief efforts. Be sure to check the gay agenda. There's 2 or 3 events coming up that are listed there. Pick up your Pride Guide. It's in the paper this week. That'll tell you all you need to know about Pride Weekend. So that's it. So I appreciate y'all being here. Come back and see us next week. Remember, go to Facebook, Dallas Voice Facebook, find the comment section for this video, and give us your best
Your Beth amphetamine name.
your best methamphetamine clone kind of name. Okay? And we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye. Have a good weekend.